Hello friends and welcome to Tutorials Point. In this segment of the video, we are going to see the transformation of less structured data in Power BI Desktop. Now so far you must have got the idea that Power BI Desktop is all about order and organized data structure. What do I mean by that? Whenever I import any kind of data, I always make sure that the column should have the proper data types, right? So let's take for an example, if it's a date, I should always follow the date data types. If it's a text, it should follow text, and if it is a time, it should follow time data types. That's right. So this is what the organized data structure is all about. Now whenever I want to make any kind of changes, or whenever I want to change the data types of the table that we have imported, we always need to go to the Power Query Editor. In Power Query Editor, I can make the transformation the way I want it. In that, I can reorder the column, I can delete the column, I can give the data types, and I can get an organized data altogether in the Power Query Editor. Now in this Power Query Editor, whenever we apply any kind of changes, these changes can be seen on the extreme right side of your screen under the Applied Steps section. Under that Applied Steps section, you can see the each and every move that you make, and it's being recorded every time. Now let's take for an example that sometimes you tend to do some mistake. You must have applied some wrong data sets. So what we can do about it? Do a Control Z? No, we do not have an option for undo, that is Control Z in Power BI. Instead of that, what we can do, we can go to that Applied Step section, and the step that you have applied, you simply have to hover your mouse, and at the end of it you will find a cross sign over it. You simply have to click on that cross sign, and that changes can be undone like that. So how to apply this transformation and how to get our organized data, we'll be having a better understanding of this in our practical approach.
Hello friends and welcome. In this video, we are going to learn how to transform a less structured data into a structured format in such a way that the report generation in Power BI becomes an easy task. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started off. Now in order to transform the data, we'll be using a new example for this time, because we'll be starting right from the scratch and see how the transformation take place. So let me show you the data that we are going to transform quickly. Alright, so this will be the data that we'll be working on. Now, as you can see on your screen, this is an Excel spreadsheet in which I have different cities all together, and I have the revenue that they have generated in bikes, in accessories and miscellaneous with respect to different years. Okay, so as you can see, this is years, and these are the revenue that they have generated for each and every city. Alright, so this is the data that we'll be working on. Now let's go ahead and import this Excel sheet into our Power BI desktop, and let's go ahead and add the transformation. Okay, so let me quickly go to the Power BI screen. Alright, so we are back to our Power BI module. Now in this particular desktop, we will be going under Edit Query sections so that the Power Query Editor comes up, and under this we have to import the data. So in order to import the data, we have to go under the New Source. Right now, if you click on this drop down menu, the very first thing which we can see is this Excel tab. So if you simply click on this Excel tab, this is this file that we have been searching for, that is the multi-level spreadsheet. I will simply click on it and hit open. The moment I hit open, the navigator tool opens up, or this pop-up window comes into picture, in which we have to select this sheet 1, which is the data that will be transforming. All right, now you can see this is all the data that which we were seeing on our Excel sheet as well. I will simply hit OK. Now the moment I hit OK, you can see this is the data that has been imported from our Excel sheet, the way it can be seen out there as well. Okay, now as you can see, there are some null values because there were few cells which were empty, which have been represented as null. Okay, so we will transform this less structured data into a structure format. So in order to transform this, the very first thing which I will be doing is that I will go under the transform tab, and under the transform tab I will transpose this data. The moment I click on this transpose data, see what happens. Now, as we know, transpose is nothing but switching rows and columns. That's what transpose does. So it has exactly done the same thing. It has switched the column into different rows. So these cities can be seen in different columns. Now it can be seen in different rows in this Power BI query editor. All right. The next thing that we have to do is I have to give this column names, this column some names aligned to it. So in order to do that, what we will be doing, I will simply go on to the extreme left side of your data, and I'll simply right click on it. The moment I right click on it, these are the all changes that you can apply to this table. But as of now, what we'll be doing, we need to apply some headers. So I will say that use the first row as header of this particular table. The moment you click on this, as you can see, now this 2005, 2006, these are my different years which has been applied as headers, and right below it you can see the revenue. Also you can see the column 1 has all the cities into it. Okay, now let's go ahead and remove this null as well. So what I want is basically this null should be replaced by the city name. So I will be using a fill option which can be seen under the transform tab itself. Under transform tab you have this fill drop down menu. If you can simply click on this, I have down and up. Basically what is this fill drop down menu? It is similar to the flash fill that we have in our Excel, Microsoft Excel as well. So let me show you what happens when I click on this down button. The moment I click on this down, you see all the null has been replaced by the city above it. So it is very simple. So you simply have to go here and simply select the down button. The moment you click on it, you have now a structured data altogether. Let's go ahead and change the column name of this. So I will simply double click on the column names and name this as cities. Okay, I'll simply hit enter. I have the city names. Also I have this as different categories, so I'll simply double click on it and name this as categories. Okay, so I'll just name it as category as of now. Okay, now this looks a little bit structure manner. Now the only thing which I want to do the changes is I want to convert these column headers into a vertical format in such a way, like let me explain you. These are my different number of years, and these are the revenue generated by it with respect to different categories. Now what we'll be doing, instead of having so many columns, we'll be just having two columns, in which the first column will tell you the number of years, and the next column which will be next to it will show you what is the revenue along with it. So what we are going to do is we will going to select all these together. So I'm pressing the control key and selecting it one by one. So this is in a pivoted format. What we have to do is unpivot it in such a way that it looks like a tabular format. So again, I will go under the transform tab and I will simply click on unpivot columns. The moment I click on unpivot columns, you can see now the table has been changed in such a way that this is showing me number of years. As of now it is showing attributes, so I'll simply double click it and I will name this as years. All right, I hit enter and these are my values. Right now this is nothing but the revenue. All right, and I'll simply hit enter. So this is now into a more structure format in such a way that I have number of years and I have the revenue as well. Also I'll be going under the home tab and changing this into a whole number. All right, so basically I have changed the data type out here into a whole number. Now it seems like a structured data. I will simply close and apply these changes and get back to our main the Power BI screen. It will take some time as it is applying the changes. All right, now as you can see, we have this sheet which is being this is the query that we were working on. Now these are the different category. We have categories, cities, and the revenue. So if I just simply select any graph, let's say a normal column chart in which I want the city names. All right, I have the city names and I want to check how much is the revenue along with it. So I'll simply drag these two headers. It says revenues by cities altogether. It's working. So out here you can see this is the three different cities that we were working on and the revenue along with it. Okay, we can also create a new report, let's say a map report basically. So I will simply go ahead under this geographical condition, a field map. I want to create a field map. So I'll simply click on this. So now I have all the categories. So I have Seattle, we have Vancouver, and we have Portland. And what is the revenue? As you can see, we have dropped the cities and we have dropped the revenue, so it is giving me the information. Similarly, if you want to go for a pie chart, right, so it is showing you all the different cities. So this is how you can transform your data in such a way that the report generation in our Power BI screen becomes an easier task. Isn't it simple, guys? Okay, so this is how it is done, and how this is how you generate a report in Power BI. Okay guys, so this was all about this video. Hopefully you like this video. See you until next time.